You first asked me about economic growth and industrial structure of China. Well, China has set a growth target for GDP this year of between 4.5 and 5% of GDP. The target, contained in the government's work report, which lays out goals for the year, represents a modest step down from last year's goal around 5% and the actual growth of 5% during 2025. Uh, Premier Li said geopolitical risks are rising, global economic momentum remains sluggish, while multilateralism and free trade are under severe threat. Quote. While he was reading the report in the Great Hall of the People before President Xi Jinping and thousands of delegates from across China. On the home front, Premier Xi acknowledged that the primitive market, which is in a deep downturn, was still in a period of adjustment, his words. The imbalance between strong supply and weak demand is acute, and it was more challenging for people to secure employment and earn more. But he also said that over the past year, the economy had proved remarkably resilient, with China able to diversify its exports and increase spending on research and development. Now, looking ahead, the 15th five-year plan for 2026 to 2030, right, which has also been officially unveiled at the National People's Congress. While the 14th plan was about surviving global shifts and laying foundations, the 15th plan is the execution phase of China's 2035 modernization goals. The central theme is the transition from a word factory to a science and technology superpower through new quality productive force. So, which are the top priorities of the 15th five-year plan? The new plan moves away from broad goals and focus on hard tech and economic security. Total technological sovereignty. The goal is to reach over 70% self-sufficiency in workhorse semiconductors by 2030. There is also the 50% equipment rule. New policy requiring new chip factories to source at least half of their machinery from domestic providers, effectively pushing out Western giants like Applied Materials or ASML for mid-range production. There is also the AI Plus national campaign, which is similar to Internet Plus a decade ago. And this initiative now mandates the integration of AI into the real economy. That is to say, agriculture, heavy manufacturing, and logistics, rather than simply just consumer apps. There is also the objective of expanding consumption, to counter the external trade pressure. The plan aims to raise household income and improve social safety nets. We spoke about this in our last conversation. That is to say, child care and elderly care, to turn the Chinese consumer into the primary engine of global growth. Now, it's also important to highlight on the green energy side, moving from adding to substituting. In the 14th five-year plan, China added renewables alongside coal. But now, in the 15th five-year plan, the strategy is orderly substitution. There was going to be, a carbon peaking guarantee. The plan codifies the goal to peak carbon emissions before 2030. The new energy system also encompass a shift of focus from just building panels to grid flexibility. So this includes massive investments in long-duration energy storage, batteries, and pumped hydro. ultra-high voltage lines to move power from the windy west to the industrial east, hydrogen and nuclear fusion emerging as future industries with specific pilot zones in provinces like Indicia and Anhui. So the key targets for 2026, 30, looking at the draft reports that have been just released, they encompass, rising the R&D spending for above 3.2% of GDP, which would be a record high, as well as reach the core industries with digital economy to something close to 12.5% of GDP, but also life expectancy reaching 80 years. So the 15th fiscal year plan, in a nutshell, can be said to be about rewiring the house with domestic components, whereas the previous one, the 14th fiscal 5-year plan, was more about insulating the house. Now, beyond insulating, the step is to rewire it. Thank you.